What's going on? Welcome back to the Look Mum, I'm Hustling podcast.
Ding, 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 ding. It's us. Hello. How you doing?
What was the ding, ding, ding for?
It was just something a little bit different. I don't know. It's like, I don't know, you ready to fight? You know, it's the...
Oh, in the blue corner and the red corner. Well, I am in the purple corner. You're in the blue corner. Usually it's blue and red.
Is it?
Yeah. In boxing and UFC.
Right. Why blue and red? Why those colors? Is it because it's Morocco? Morocco?
I think... I'm not sure. My first guess would be just because they're very distinct colors, you can't get them confused.
Yeah.
Maybe the Democratic and Republican side of politics. Who knows? Anyway, we're not going to get into politics. We're going to get into today's episode of the podcast.
That's what we're doing.
Episode 71. That's what we're sitting down for, right?
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Have we turned up to the wrong room?
Have we? Are we in the wrong room? Is this the podcast room? I can't tell.
Everything's running. Anyway, Today's show, we're going to talk about Silo on Apple TV.
I know. We have been talking about this the last couple of weeks. We finally finished it and it was good. I'm very stoked with it. Usually sometimes the end of season episodes are just meh. And you're like, oh, I guess we'll wait till season 2 comes around. But this one is I can't wait.
It was fun. Very good show. We're going to talk about Silo based on the book. Meta has released Threads yesterday. We talked about this probably about 8 to 10 weeks ago that we were hinting at that it was coming out because we had seen some things that were leaked online. And it officially came out yesterday.
It is. And this is all that these social media people are talking about is just threads. That's it.
Thread life.
Thread life. Yeah. Thread count. Thread life.
Thread count.
That could be
You're a believer in the thread count of sheets, but I think it's big bogus economy. I think
you
they
can
make
feel
it up. No, you can't.
You can.
No, it's brand.
Maybe it's the type of cotton that's used.
Cotton. Anyway, so talk about Threads, not the
material, but the social media platform.
Yes. Not the Manchester.
No, not the Manchester.
Why do they call it? So we're just going to get into weird things now. Why do they call it Manchester? Did it originate in Manchester?
You know what? It's probably a brand that was called Manchester,
probably
like Kleenex and stuff, yeah.
Kleenex or Tupperware.
Tupperware, yeah.
Just dominate the market, set the precedent.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, on the back of Meta and Threads, Twitter, the state of Twitter right now. They're actually... Well, Elon has imposed a limit on how many things you can view per day unless you pay. So it's basically pay to play now over on Twitter. So could be the complete unraveling. We've talked about this pretty much every second or third week since November when he took over. And it's kind of getting worse and worse. So gives everyone more of a reason to jump onto Threads and give that a try. And on top of that, we're going to talk about a topic that you brought up, which is YouTube income, which is always a hot topic. And
it is, yes.
Any YouTuber that does or has over 1 million subscribers probably has at some point done a video about how much money they make. It's a tried and true video if you make any money at all. Even if you got 3,000 subscribers, at some point you're generally going to be making a video about how much revenue I made.
Well, especially if you're in the finance or that social media space. I guess if you're a prankster, I don't think you're going to be talking about it. Or if you're a family channel, be this is how much we capitalize off our kids.
This is how much Lego we bought for our kids.
Yeah.
Based on the revenue. So they're the topics for today. Stick around and we'll get into them.
We will. I hope so. Sometimes we don't get around to them all because we like to just gas bag and keep talking about it.
If we don't, then... I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe just follow us on the social media accounts and we can always post these articles in there later on. Some things we don't get to, you can always post it in there. But if not, follow anyway. Follow along, follow our journey.
And of course, like and subscribe to the show. Leave a rating and review if you want. Otherwise...
Yeah, we ain't going to force you, so do what you want. You're your own boss here at Look Mum.
That's why nothing gets done. All right, so I guess... Threads is probably the hot topic of the week, so we'll just rip into that straight away.
Because it launched yesterday, right? Super, super fresh. And it seems like it's coming at a perfect time now that Twitter always... Every second, third day, Twitter's on the downfall. Twitter's just literally stabbing itself in the back kind of thing of just, I don't know, every new update or every new change that happens, it's just they're going to be losing subscribers and, someone's going to be in there to pick up the pieces. So what perfect company than Meta, who have something that's pre-established, something that's, a lot of people are already using, Facebook and Instagram. Why not have one of those platforms come in and be like, yo, you miss writing? You miss the text format? Come on over. I'll show you a good time.
Full solution for the people that are leaving Twitter, because people are leaving Twitter in droves. We've seen this celebrity exodus a few months ago. What are you doing?
switching over? Not yet? Okay. Oh, okay, sorry.
What signal did I give you to
No,
do
you
that?
didn't. I just thought we were ready to
You
go
were
through
trying
the
to be
article.
2 steps ahead.
I
Just
know.
Let me get my
Groove on?
get into the second gear. I'm just chilling at the moment. Sorry, guys. Sarah's jumping the gun.
Yeah. I think I've had too much coffee.
I think you have.
Yeah. Well, I am on my third one. Usually I only have two, so I've got my legs tapping.
So there'll be no yawns today.
Probably halfway through where I'll go like through the coffee crash.
So now that you're thinking about it, you're going to yawn. Anyway,
Hopefully
so Meta has been released. I did a blog post about it yesterday, kind of just giving a quick summary on what its role can and will be and what it is going to do now that Twitter is on the decline, or has been on the decline, and the benefits of using Meta. First and foremost, it's just a way to start conversations. So something that Facebook and Instagram have moved away from is the conversational element. It's all been about either visuals or ads, and that's what's driven the users as well as all the advertisers onto the platforms. It's the visual aspect of the infinite scroll nature, but the ability to have a conversation, not really in real time, but in public, has really only been on Twitter, which is, I guess, why Twitter's been around for so long, because they've been the primary app that's been able to provide that kind of service or platform to people. But now we have Meta that does it with Threads. And I was trying to explain it to you this morning because you haven't had a chance to get on there yet. You can still do photos and videos on there, which is cool. You can't really do reels or anything. You've only got one feed, but you can still do photos and videos. So people are like kind of confused about what to post where.
Yes.
Because you can put the same content on both platforms. Now, probably the simple way of thinking about it is if you want to share a photo along with text or text along with a photo, like in the case of a caption to a photo on Instagram, it's kind of more about what the primary thing you want someone to see is and what's the secondary
thing, yeah.
What's the supportive piece of content that goes with it. Do you want to do a 200-word little description or value-driven information piece of writing and have a visual to just complement that? Or is it a visual first in terms of an image or a video first piece of content that you want to see that just has a caption that supports it? That's probably the most simple way of thinking about it. And as I said, it's more of a conversational platform, whereas on Instagram, it's not really. It's all the comments are hidden, and then there's no one really having a conversation or replying to one another. It's just, here's a piece of content, here's a video or a photo, here's a caption, and then it kind of relies on the users to come in and just drop one comment and then bail. They're not designed, the posts on Instagram aren't designed to have a reply and then you read someone's reply and back and forth and so on. You can do that, but it's generally not for that or not considered that way by the user base. And that's kind of the purpose that Threads is going to be offering, because that's what Twitter's all about.
Yeah. Well, with Instagram, it's very much that you have a photo and it's like a photo album or a photo book. It's very one-dimensional. It's not really engaging. You can maybe reply to a comment like you're saying, but it's very much like, here's the photo, here it is, and then sort of like putting it out there. Whereas,
imagine if you're opening a photo, you were sitting on the couch at a family gathering. People still have those. People have family reunions.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, probably.
Opening a photo album and have it sitting there in front of people and your caption would be what you say. Here's me at Disneyland in Tokyo.
Oh, so cute.
1995. And exactly, that someone's response is their comment, as opposed to Threads, which is just basically a text chain, a back and forth, a group chat almost.
Yes.
Of you asking a question, hey guys, what do you think about this? And then 800 people come in and reply and give their 2 cents.
Yeah, like it just makes you engage in conversation. I was having a play around with it this morning, and it is ridiculously easy to sign up to it as well. Like you just log in via Instagram account. It ports all your, followers and stuff over, and you can follow those same amount of people. And I just started scrolling, and it was just people, just a lot more text. And then was a couple of photos here and there. I didn't really see a lot of videos, but it was just a endless loop of texts and no ads as well, which was very interesting.
No, so they can't just chuck it out. There will be ads on there for sure eventually. That's how Meta sort of runs in terms of makes its money. But right now everyone's jumping on. What's interesting is I'll pull this up now. You can pull up the screen. So Zuckerberg put a post out yesterday after 7 hours saying 10 million signups in the first 7 hours, which is pretty crazy.
That's insane because that has to be a record, right? No other app would have that number.
So 10 million signups in 7 hours. Then I just Googled how long did it take Facebook to gain 10 million back in the day. So Facebook reached 10 million users after 852 days. So what's that, 2.5 to 3 years? Twitter in 780, so more than 2 years, and then Google Plus in 16 days. But Google Plus is obviously pretty much defunct now. So to do that in 7 hours is pretty astonishing.
Yeah.
And it, like you said, because it's so easily integrated with Instagram, there's just that leverage there of the people that are familiar, firstly with Meta and Instagram, and then be familiar with the people that already follow there. So you don't have to go searching for everyone straight away.
No.
So it's pretty crazy they did it in 7 hours, but there was an update. I'll see if I can see it here. I think they're up to 30 million users in the first 16 hours.
Oh my gosh. That's insane.
So this is from 11 hours ago. The time of recording, this is July 7th at midday. So we said 30 million signups as of this morning. Feels like beginning of something special. We've got a lot of work ahead to build out the app.
Yeah, it was 8 hours later. Far out.
So tripled in 8 hours.
Yes.
So pretty crazy. And I wonder how many users are still on Twitter. In saying all this, numbers sound amazing, but there's going to be a substantial decline in terms of the people that are on there active every day. It's one of those new things. Probably once every 5 to 10 years, there'll be some new app that's released and everyone jumps on board for the next week or so, and then it will filter out.
It's the shiny new tool, right? Like we've talked about Clubhouse before where that had a big influx and it's died down. So time will tell whether this is going to be successful long term. But when we're talking about this a couple of weeks ago, like a couple of months ago, we said that it could be successful if they made like the integration super easy. And that's what they've done. You can literally sign up within 5 seconds.
Literally not even 1 minute.
Yeah.
Like 5 seconds actually.
Yeah, it doesn't take long too because it imports like your bio and stuff from Instagram. It's literally your Instagram copied over 2 threads, not your photos or anything like that. And then you can just start posting fresh and just text, photos, whatever it is. And people, like you said, are still trying to figure out like what they want to post on there, what's it's for, what's its purpose. But everyone's jumped on the bandwagon just to see how it is because it's new, it's shiny, it's like controversial as well at the moment because, you know, it's literally there to destroy Twitter if you think about it. So everybody's on there just trying to, I guess, get their foothold. But it's almost like a throwback to like classic or old school social media in a way because you don't have the ads, you don't have sponsored posts coming up, you don't have people you don't know popping up in your feed as well. It's people who...
You get everyone showing up in your feed.
Yeah, it depends because you can toggle between...
You can toggle it on and off, but there are people saying even if you toggle just to have your feed of people just you follow, you still get shown some stuff.
Right, yeah.
So,
but not like a ridiculous amount because like that's what
I think it's the people that just are gigantic celebrities already that have probably hundreds of thousands of followers, but the people that are just, you know, mid-range 10 to 100,000.
People like us.
They'll get shown in your feed if you have it set to everyone.
Yeah.
We should probably talk about some things that you can't do on there. So you can't search based, or there's no hashtags. I mean, you can type it in, but there's no way to search for a hashtag. There's no way to search for places, like in terms of comparing it to Instagram anyway.
Right, yeah. Like you want to go to like Italian food in Sydney or whatever, you search Italian Sydney food and then you'll be able to...
hashtag, or you go into the map or search an actual restaurant. You can't... The search bar only gives you results of the users. So right now, these first couple of weeks or even first couple of days, there's going to be people trying to figure out what's the... not the hack, but what's the best practice to optimize my odds of getting seen and growing on here. Like everyone knows about the YouTube influencers, the TikTok gurus, the Instagram. Did I say Instagram or YouTube the first time?
YouTube.
The Instagram, like hackers, how to grow 100,000 in 7 days, do these 10 tricks. this is obviously going to happen on Threads within the next couple of weeks. People will be running
100%.
courses and all that sort of stuff. So right now, everyone's trying to figure out how does the algorithm work? How can I find some sort of hack?
They're trying to figure out how to game the system and then sell that.
Yes.
Yes.
But my point is that there's things that it's missing that Instagram has that I imagine it would start implementing, because they're things that are on Facebook, things that are on Instagram, and then things that are on their rival app, Twitter, is searching for specific words. So you can, as I said, you can only search. You can search for a word, but you only get shown users in the search results.
So it's searching. So when you want to search a keyword, it's searching keywords in user names, not actually what they're posting
in their bios.
Okay, right.
So if you want gardening, you're going to get people that have gardener in their bio only, not posts that have the word gardener in there.
Gotcha.
Unless, however, let me have a quick think, because potentially there might be a way to search it with what's that grammar punctuation thing called? It's not just a quotation mark, I guess.
I'm just like quotes.
I always get confused with colon, semicolon, apostrophe, and there's other ones.
Yes, like apostrophe is a single one.
No, that one's easy.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a colon and a semicolon? One's a double dot, one's a dot hook thing.
Yes.
How do you remember the difference?
Colon's just the dot and the semicolon is semi, so it's half.
Half of what?
Half of the dot. Yeah.
But there's more dot there because it's got a tail on it. So wouldn't it be like double colon? Or extra long colon?
I don't make up the English rules, so, you know.
And that's just a quotation?
Quotation, yeah.
It's pretty dumb sometimes.
I think a lot of these actually do have like proper
name. That's what I'm saying.
Proper like some sort of Latin-inspired names. Not Latin.
Yeah, so
Latin-inspired names.
I thought maybe you could get results just by doing that, but you can't. So it's just the word will come up in the search results if it's in the title. If it's in the user name, so that the
Gardens Are Us or something. Yeah.
Or their bio.
Okay, gotcha.
There's no actual posts that come up. So that will change. I imagine there'll be some sort of hashtags. Places. You can't do that. Because
there'll be something already running in the background reading the data.
Yeah, potentially just not enough posts there to even have that tool implemented yet.
Yes.
Plus, they're going to want to have things to add on. You don't want to have everything on day one.
You want to be like, oh, we're upgrading this now, and it gets people excited.
Yes. You can post links, which are easy. It works 95% of the way that Twitter works. There's no DMs. So if you want to DM, it just reverts back to Instagram. So
gotcha.
it's a branch off of Instagram. It's kind of its own app, but it's part of Instagram. The actual, if you go to the App Store, it's called Meta, an Instagram app. So it is kind of just part of Instagram.
Yeah,
it's not really its own thing.
It's what they're talking about. It's that community building, right? Like, so you follow me, see my photos, but if you want a more in-depth, behind the scenes sort of, I guess if you want to see inside my brain, how I think, what I do, follow me on Threads and we can have a conversation.
Yep.
Yeah, or be part of the conversation. Yeah.
You can share your post to your IG feed or to the grid. So a lot of Twitter users like ourselves would at times take a screenshot of a Twitter post, crop it to square, post it onto Instagram. Now it sort of does that automatically. The interesting thing is you can actually share to Twitter from Threads.
Yes.
Which doesn't work the other way around.
I remember you telling me.
Twitter won't allow you to just automatically share to a different app. But it's interesting that Threads allows you to do that. So it's kind of like a middle finger to Elon Musk's Twitter, the way it's currently being run, saying, we're happy to help our users on both platforms, but you're not really willing to cooperate with other companies or other brands or platforms. So it's kind of interesting. I think it's going to fizzle out the interest. I think people that were reluctant to use Twitter or to post their thoughts and ideas aren't going to really use it. They'll consume on there, but they're not going to be active participants, I don't think.
No.
I think people that were familiar with Twitter and actually went to some effort to be an active Twitter user and just maybe fell off will use it, but people aren't just going to start writing out of nowhere. A small proportion of people will, but people aren't just going to start getting on there and writing their thoughts out 10 times a day out of nowhere.
It's like what you're saying, right? If you don't usually post on social media, you're going to be on it and just like, I guess, observe in the background and watch and forget about it within like a month's time. But if you're an active poster, active person on social media, you probably got to stick with it for a while just to see how it evolves, what comes about. Because you have things like Be Real, which everyone thought would be sort of stopping, but it's still quite common. People are still quite like using that particular aspect. So it's always interesting to see when these new apps that come out that have this big kind of like raving, like excitement to begin with. And then, what's it actually going to be in a year's time, not like a couple of months.
Or 10 years' time. So when you think about Meta, they're called Meta for a reason. They changed their name, 12, 18 months ago for a reason.
Yeah. Well, so it's like a parent company, right? So that means you can have multiple things underneath. So now you have Facebook, now you have Instagram. Well, Meta means like, when I think of Meta, I think of like metadata. Like it's like a bit, what does Meta mean? Like a big accumulation?
Like
everything. Yeah. So like, it's just like an everything app or everything company.
He was going hard on the metaverse stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like, he wouldn't just be building this app for no reason. There'd be a 10-year, 20-year mission about what his role is going to be within the metaverse, the meta universe.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Facebook could just become like the advertise. If you just think in 20 years what this all looks like, Facebook might be
like the yellow pages.
Well, advertising, and Facebook Marketplace. People aren't really posting their thoughts and anything on there. People are just posting memes or sharing fan pages and that sort of thing.
Well, if you think, because Facebook back in the day, like you go through your really, really old posts from 2010 or like 2009.
They're the same as what Threads is today.
Exactly. It's like, I'm enjoying my sandwich or whatever it is. Like it's, yeah. And it's right. That's probably like Facebook could actually turn into like an address book or it could turn into, an advertising book or things like that. Something for businesses to have like a fan page or things like that. Like still community, but it's more of be like
groups,
promotional.
As opposed to individualized.
Exactly.
And then Instagram's going to be just like we said, the photo album version, like
your personal art gallery,
like their own version of like YouTube and an art gallery and photos and curation. And then this is kind of what Facebook originally was, which is the one-on-one conversation. So when you think of like what the metaverse is going to be like in terms of Meta, the company, this is their way of retaining some sort of one-on-one conversational component. So when everyone does have a headset on, you're walking down some virtual street, you have your ads on one side, for example, your photos and videos of your friends and family, but then you have the conversational component, the connection component, which will be through this app. Yeah,
that's very true. And I think another thing you mentioned earlier as well, that with Instagram is coming very much like video based as well. The algorithm's really pushing the reels, like photos. So the fact that you can still put photos on Threads, like maybe that's going to be the still sort of like snapshot. And then, like it's a really interesting concept of, your shopping's through Facebook or your branding is through Facebook. And then, you've got your story through Instagram. And then you've got your community conversation Threads.
As a guess, that would be what I would do anyway.
Yeah. And it's really, really interesting. And it's just really, really early days, whether it's true or not. But apparently with Threads, Mark Zuckerberg employed a lot of people that used to work for Twitter to help build the app.
Right.
Yeah. And then so there might be like suing or anything involved. From. Yeah. Because I found like an article where, they're already in the talks of suing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got the article up right now. It's actually 2 steps ahead of you, but you didn't bring the screen up. So this is from appleinsider.com. Threads hasn't been alive for a day and Twitter is already threatening to sue. Twitter's attorneys are already threatening the nascent Threads with a lawsuit for stealing trade secrets and misuse of intellectual property.
Very, very interesting. Yes. Sorry, you go.
You got a comment?
No, I was just going to read as well.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. You got to give me some indication instead of,
Yeah, so The letter sent by the law firm says serious concerns that Meta platform is engaged in systematic, willful, and unlawful misappropriation, trade secrets, and all that kind of thing. Because Meta has hired dozens of former Twitter employees intentionally and with the intent of using Twitter's trade secrets to make the platform, which sort of makes sense if it looks like that, traditional Twitter or that old school Twitter. But I sort of got that Facebook vibe more than anything else, like the old school Facebook vibe.
Well, I don't think the way it looks is the concern. It's the way it operates. I mean, they're calling it threads, which is a Twitter term.
It is a Twitter term.
And yeah, I mean, how much stuff is can you legally change? Like, because all it is like a comment. That's not a made up patented thing. A comment is someone commenting. Sharing it is someone sharing it. Every platform has the ability to comment and share and send.
Like, can you patent coding?
Probably not.
Yeah, because it'd be quite universal, right?
Like a recipe.
Yeah, that's true. Like, there's chocolate chip cookie recipe. You can't really patent that.
But if you did enough research, you could probably trace it back to the original source.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially.
Gotcha. So Twitter intends to strictly enforce its intellectual property rights and demands that Meta take immediate steps to stop using any Twitter trade secrets or other highly confidential information. The letter goes on to say Twitter reserves the right, including but not limited to, the right to seek both civil remedies and injunctive relief without further notice to prevent any further retention, disclosure, or use of intellectual property by Meta.
So what is that telling you? It's just
that they're threatened, right? Like they're worried. They've been losing a lot of traction, a lot of, I guess, support for the actual app itself. Every time he does an update, or even like you're saying, they now need to pay if they want to view more. They're just going to keep losing that support. And if you don't have that fan support, and if you don't have that core group of people that really enjoy using that platform, it's just going to fizzle out. People are just going to stop using it. It's going to turn into like another Snapchat.
I don't know. I believe that, but I don't know how they can just let it fizzle out.
It's been around for so long.
It's so long. It's so ingrained. There's so much money at stake, and to let it fizzle out just means you're admitting defeat as well. There's something Musk ain't going to do.
No, even though he is a businessman at the end of the day, he doesn't seem like someone that calls their losses. He seems like someone that's going to dig their feet in and just really try to stick it out to see what they can do.
Or at least pivot it to its own unique thing and not try and be the old Twitter and just tries to be its new thing.
Yeah. Unless if he's really trying to this is next level. If he's really trying to not get rid of, but get those, I guess, personal sort of people out and really make it news focused. So just imagine if Twitter is where you get all your recent news and all your recent updates. It would make sense if that's a paid for platform. It'd be like you have to pay for New York Times, right? Mm-hmm. So to be able to, you can read a certain amount, but to be able to read more, you need to pay for it.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about that, having it spin into a purely news outlet.
Like an information source.
There have to be a lot of checks and balances to enable no dodgy or misinformation to come on there.
And that's what he's slowly trying to do, right? Getting rid of the bots, getting rid of, the blue check marks for false people that, just want notoriety and stuff like that. So maybe coming back to an organic age of Twitter where it's just...
Organic age.
Yeah, I don't know.
So this is a tweet came out this week from Elon Musk, and if you're sort of in the know a bit, basically what he's done recently is make companies pay for access to, this is probably a poor explanation, make companies pay for access to the API. So the API is basically how to access the back end of the code in a simple way.
Because that's what's happening with Reddit as well, right?
Yeah. So basically, for example, there's an app called Buffer where, I'm not sure, maybe Buffer's not the best example, but basically there's different programs where you can do things like scheduling out tweets, and it all talks to the Twitter backend or coding. Mm-hmm. And basically, he's making companies pay for access to the API. And a lot of companies that are don't want to pay for that because you have to pay for a certain amount of code or a certain number of clicks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a poor explanation, and I apologize. But basically, he's implementing all these paywalls for users as well as companies that want to come in and connect with the platform, because those companies are making money off Twitter. So they want to make their minor profit off the top. It's the same as like Apple make a little bit of money off every app that's installed.
Yes.
So they just want to make their cream on the top of the...
Just access to be able to use their site, right?
Yes.
So for those that aren't familiar with the Buffer app, so just
I don't know
say...
if it's Buffers. Let me pull it up because I want to give the right information here. API costs, because I don't think Buffer's the same. So this is from April. Twitter Enterprise API costs up to $2.5 million per year, with its lowest subscription at $42K per month. So basically, if you're developing some sort of app that lets you optimize Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
you have to pay thousands of dollars every month, for example.
Yep. So if you get a profit off Twitter or use Twitter as a resource, it's asking you to pay Twitter to be able to have that privilege.
Yeah. Give me a sec.
While you try to narrow it down. But yeah, there's a lot of like places, even like Reddit. So like
this is a better description, right? So Twitter's API access program is what enables developers to build apps that read and write Twitter data. This is how scheduling tools work. Up until now, Twitter has offered a generous free API access tier, but now Musk and co are looking to up the cost, which will see developers forced out of Twitter's tools. So that's basically it. So all these tools that have been making all this subscription money for a couple of years now of creators or companies that want to access Twitter and read and write the data at a high volume now have to pay. And if they can't afford millions of dollars, they're just not going to do it. So that's my point. So they're doing it to the companies, now they're doing it to the users. So this is from this week. Musk is saying to address extreme levels of data scraping, which is kind of the same thing, and system manipulation, we've applied the following temporary limits. Verified accounts, so ones that people that are paying for the blue check, are limited to reading 6,000 posts per day.
Right.
After which you're blocked out and you can't view any tweets. Unverified accounts, so just a normal user, is limited to 600 posts per week, and a new unverified account, 300. So brand new accounts.
Yep.
So let's say you're an unverified account, you've reached your 600 limit, and you're like, I need more, I need to access more. You can make a quick dummy account, and that one's only got access to 300.
Gotcha.
So it's basically pay to play now. You might think, why, like 600 posts is a lot. But if you read someone's post or thread and there's 10 posts in that thread, that's 10 posts you've already gone through, plus all the replies. That could be 50 immediately. You might not even have to read them. You can just scroll past them because it can't really determine if you've read them or not. It just determines if it appeared on your screen.
Yeah, that's very true. And what that API thing was saying before, like it's one way to crack down on bots, which sort of makes sense why he does this, because he's always been campaigning against having those bots on there. So now bots can't schedule and post and do all that kind of thing.
The more important thing for the data scraping is the bots can just scrape the data and have their own website that just pulls in. You can just have a crypto news site and you can just run some program that is designed to go onto Twitter anytime there's a hashtag crypto. For example, hashtag cryptos in any single post, and that post is from an account that has more than, say, 5,000 followers. So a reputable account with the topic of crypto. We're just going to like create our own blog and put all that information with code. And now they can't do that because it caps them at 600.
That would be the same for people that do like stock market info, finance, all that kind of thing. Like people that would have some sort of knowledge, they're now limiting, I guess, them accumulating data.
It's the limitation of access.
Yeah, interesting.
So that's a huge hurdle that's happened this week with Twitter. And I don't think many people are really talking about it or aware of it. Obviously, the people that are ingrained in Twitter do, but people outside, people that are, say, just jumping onto threads have no idea this is kind of a thing.
It's almost like one of those like it's been free for so long that people took it for granted, and then he's coming to be like, yo, this is like such a valuable thing. Like, why are people not paying for this?
So
the question is, will they?
Kind of crazy.
Yes.
Kind of crazy. So I hadn't thought about, I think the Wi-Fi's dropped. I hadn't thought about the news aspect. It makes a lot of sense though. It makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
You could be right. You could be onto something there.
Yeah, like they're trying to just weed out like those, just the people that, I guess the type of people you just don't want on there anyway. Like people that love the platform or like want to engage with it are going to stay.
The company shouldn't be picking and choosing who's on the platform.
That's true.
That's exactly what he's against, censorship.
Okay.
That's exactly what he doesn't want.
Right.
He wants it to be a financially viable business, but he doesn't see the point in giving out all this API access for free, having all this staff members that he laid off essentially not doing a whole lot, all these hidden secrets and hidden agendas and political motives that were uncovered months ago.
Yeah.
The Twitter files.
It's almost like, he just wants to monetize the data that's on that platform. Because you have, Facebook, Meta, whatever, they monetize on their data that they have. So maybe Twitter just never had really any of that sort of financial aspect in the background. Maybe they just weren't selling the data.
It could be a good thing though, because we have, what's the documentary? Social media, the Netflix, the common one, social media something, Dilemma, I think it's called.
Yeah, the social dilemma.
Social dilemma, where they highlight the fact that if you're not paying for something, you're the, what's the phrase? You're the business, or you're the product. If you're not paying for something, you're the product.
Gotcha.
So, for example, we don't pay for Instagram or Facebook, but all of our data is then the product.
Gotcha.
Whereas we're talking about threads, and there's no ads yet, but is it just a matter of time as they accumulate data on us, and then we're essentially the product anyway?
Yeah.
They're not just making these apps out of the goodness of their heart. They're building these apps because they're businesses.
No, that's very true. Like Facebook didn't have ads to begin with because there's a new platform, it was getting to know them, and then ads started slowly coming in, and they were very generalized, and then they became targeted. So
this could be a good thing that he's making people pay.
Yes.
Because then we're not the product.
Yes, he's turning Twitter into a product, that making it more like desirable maybe. But yeah, it could be the way of just going into news because that was one of his goals, right? He wanted to make it one of the most popular like news destinations, like where people get their news first.
Yeah. It's, wow, interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
And I think we don't have any Wi-Fi to bring up any new articles.
Has it like completely dropped out? Let's see. If not, you can hotspot my phone.
Oh, no, it's working. It's just
okay.
Twitter's not reloading.
Okay.
Like literally it's...
Oh, something went wrong.
Oh, but it's not signed in.
Okay.
It's been booted. Too much trash talking.
Yeah.
So that's all that news. I think that's enough for today's episode on that topic anyway. So Twitter will stay posted. We'll keep you guys up to date with what's happening. What else is in the news, Sarah? We got Silo and we got YouTube income.
Ooh, so
let's go on to YouTube income.
Okay.
And we'll finish off with some
Silo. It's such a good name as well. Silo. All right. So, how much YouTubers make for 1 million subscribers? And there's been a whole bunch of conversations around, do subscribers actually count?
Well, that's what I was about to initially say. Like, it's the view. You don't get paid per subscriber.
Unless if you do a lot of lives, then it's really based on your subscriber count.
No, not really.
No?
There's people that have 1 million subscribers and they might only have 400 people in their live stream.
Gotcha. Okay. Didn't you say you get paid more during lives, though?
You get paid more per view, but you still need the view.
Right. That's true. Very, very true. Okay. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm throwing it back at you.
Okay. Fair enough. So this one here, so creators who are part of the YouTube Partner Program can obviously make money from their videos with the ads that are used. YouTubers can make thousands of dollars each month from the program. And then so getting 1 million YouTube subscribers is a huge milestone. And in particular terms, it often means a creator can earn a full-time living from that platform. 1 million is usually like that big benchmark that people want to hit, right? They want to get that subs. Yep. Yeah. They want to get is it like the silver play button when you hit 1 million? Or something like that?
You get a bunch of them. I don't know.
So YouTube creators can earn money in numerous ways, but money from the ads that play in their videos usually constitutes a big chunk of their income. So how much does YouTube pay for 1 million subscribers? Nate O'Brien. Sorry. That's a weird spelling of Brian.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's the normal way.
No, Brian and then
That's for a first
Bryan.
Surnames, I've never seen an O'Brien with an A.
Oh, really? I've never seen.
Never.
You know what? Could you imagine if it is O'Brien?
If it's O'Brien, I'll give you I don't know. I'll give you all of my YouTube revenue, which is about $14.
So this Nate person, who I've never heard of before.
O'Brien.
Have
you heard of O'Brien's Glass? O'Brien.
Yeah.
You have heard of it.
O'Brien.
O'Brien's Glass Repair.
Yeah. A YouTuber with more than 1 million subscribers earned $440,000 from the platform in a year. He earned from $14,600 to $54,600 a month.
Huge range.
Yeah. So another YouTuber and lifestyle creator, because there's a whole bunch of different categories you can work in within the YouTube platform. Previous told Insider that she earned up to $11,500 a month from ads on her videos.
Cool. So to start earning money directly from YouTube, creators must apply for the partnership program, which we touched on a few weeks ago. They did drop, so it's now 500 subscribers to pass that threshold.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make money from features such as channel memberships, super chat, super stickers. Most of those are from going live.
Mm-hmm.
To start earning money from AdSense, though, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Two key metrics for earning money on YouTube are the CPM. This is how much advertisers pay YouTube for each 1,000 views.
And CPM's click per minute, right?
It's per millennia. I think it's, which means 1,000 basically. Cost per, that's not right. Cost per mile. I believe it's, let's just find the definition. I'm pretty sure it's millennial. Cost per mile.
So it just means 1,000.
Yeah, I think M means something about millennia and then 1,000
Okay.
a year. So CPM is how much advertisers pay YouTube, and then the RPM is the revenue per mil or per 1,000, which is how much your cut is after YouTube take their cut.
Mm-hmm.
Different subjects or categories make different amount of money depending on the type of ads that can get played on them. So finance type of videos.
I was about to say finance and tech are like some of the huge, like they say money making categories, or I guess they have the most searchable categories.
Well, it's more about the types of advertisers that can run ads on them.
Yes, true.
Like, think of a niche or a category where there's not many companies that make ads, like coffee cups.
Yeah, it's true. Microphones, I guess.
Whereas, like anyone on YouTube is pretty interested in tech to some degree.
Think about how many times you've seen a Squarespace ad, or like how many times you've seen. Just trying to think of just Squarespace is the only thing that comes to head, but it's always them. Yeah.
So that's the topic. So this is just a bunch of links to other people's videos. As we said at the start of the episode, pretty much everyone over 1 million's done a video about how much they make, and we can't really go into them.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been a bit more concise in the
actual money
the
made.
money on each of them.
Yeah.
Depending on the business style, I know there's Ali Abdali. He has a bunch of side businesses and programs and courses and things like that go alongside of his content. So he's probably an outlier as opposed to someone that's just doing videos alone.
Yeah.
And it really depends. Like, it'd be better if this was some sort of table that showed you percentage from the views, percentage from brand deals, which is a big part, and then percentage from businesses that operate outside of YouTube, but their followers from YouTube filter into that.
Yeah. Well, you have even huge creators like Mr. Beast, right? He incorporates brand deals within his videos.
So this is kind of why I hate this topic, because it's so vague. It's like saying, how much money does a retail worker earn? Well, do they have investments? Do they have side hustles? Do they have...
Well, think about like this, like, so YouTube can give you like what your minimum wage can be. Like, this is the base. This is the metrics. If you hit this, like A, B, and C, this is how much money you can get.
Yeah, but they don't give you that info.
No.
They give you 2 bits of numbers, and then they literally say, guy earns 440, ranging from this to this, and then other person does this, and then literally everything else in this. I could write a better article in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you should be like, okay, every 1,000 views you get $1 or something like that. Just give like the actual dollar
Well, it
amount.
depends on the RPM and the CPM.
Yeah, of course. Like, it's so all over the place depending on.
Which is something I've talked about before. It's hard to be reliant on that because you don't know what views are coming in. You don't know. The thing with YouTube is you're competing with everything. You're not just competing with other people. If you're doing a gardening channel, you're not just competing with people that make gardening videos. You're competing with every video. And then if you're competing with every video, you're also competing with every social media platform and every post on social media platform. Because it's all about the person that's watching you. They can be doing 100 other things right now. They're chosen to be with you. But there's also 100 things that they could go and do immediately right now. That means your views go away. So you're kind of competing with like everything on a screen at that particular moment. So it's hard to say if you got a really hot topic, you've got your regular topic about gardening, then all of a sudden some dramatic world event goes on and no one's watching gardening for that week because we'll go into silo because there's been a nuclear bomb that goes off and no one can go outside the garden. It's a pretty dramatic example.
I know, yeah.
But all of a sudden, no one gives a fuck about gardening.
Well, it's like, yes, it's like hard as well, but think about something as simple as an athlete, right? They do have their basic income, but you still need to look outside of that to have some sort of extra income coming through. So that's brand deals or creating your own product to sell. So all these massive creators, yes, they're getting paid from YouTube, but every single one of them has something else going on. They've got a product.
Not all of them. The smart ones do.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have multiple things. They'll have courses. They'll have products to sell. They'll have digital content that you can download. They'll have, multiple sort of different avenues sort of going through. So then just say if YouTube, they, I guess, fail on YouTube or something happens, they have these other income streams coming through. But again, that's just like having a business mindset. You don't have just your main wage or your main income. You have these other little things going on to help supplement.
I've got an issue with this article because it's clickbait. How much YouTubers make for 1 million subscribers?
Business Insider as well. It's not very inside the business.
Exactly. You give 3 bits of data and don't give any comparison. All you do is say there's a range of money and a range of niches you can do, and they all make different things.
That's the problem with these articles sometimes now these days. They're not really articles. It's just a headline and a couple of bits of information.
You could make this video and give 10 times more info. You could literally title it the same. How much does 1 million make?
Yes.
But again, there's so many factors. If we break it down and say how much 1 million views gets per category, then that's a much clearer answer for someone that wants to get into making YouTube videos and some sort of money off it.
Yeah.
But just saying subscribers doesn't mean anything.
No, it's so vast and it varies as well, and it's hard to even get to that 1 million subscribers. It's a very small percentage to even get to that spot anyway, and then to keep it up and be consistent and have that continuous, I guess, payment out every month.
Depends how much money you make.
Yeah, okay.
I want to know.
We're going to make it the tiniest bit.
They've got enough to pretty much buy coffee.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Once a week.
Yeah, once a week coffee.
Okay, so disappointed with the article there, Sarah, I must admit.
Not my best shot there. It's Business Insider. Should be more in depth, but it wasn't. So
I mean, I'm just gonna look at the links that it goes to. See what they do here. Oh my god! This is everything's about money. I thought they were going to be these 10 links to these 10 different influencers, be links to their YouTube channels, but they're all links to other Business Insider articles that have been specifically written for that influencer.
Yes.
And immediately as soon as you click that, it's like you've reached your cap on how much you can read on this site.
Of course.
So they just want you to click and want to find out more and then pay. Oh my fucking God, man. I mean, it's a decent strategy. It's not very subtle by any means. So straight away,
$1 for the first month, and like, oh, I'll pay $1, and then you forget, and then you get that $12.95 in the second month.
So sly. Look at the link at the bottom here, bottom left hand corner. How much money this guy makes? It's just all business. Oh my God. So this is like does my head in. All right, let's get on to Silo before I spaz out.
All right.
Well, maybe funny. All right, no more Business Insider articles.
Anymore?
It's just clickbait.
It is just clickbait. Look at that big one.
And plus, you don't need an image of this guy taking up so much of the screen. Chill out. Just chill out, You
don't. That's fine.
Nate O'Brien.
O'Brien. Right, Silo.
No size.
No size. It's an Apple Plus.
All right. Every time we do a review, we have a conversation afterwards. I'm going to let you take the reins on this one. I'm giving it a breakdown.
All right, so.
Because I feel like you can do it more justice than I can.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Full trust.
Okay, there we go.
Look, hand exercise. Do you want to fall backwards if I catch you?
Yeah, good work.
Depends if I'm willing to catch you.
So. All right, so Silo spoilers. Try not to spoil it, but the headline in this says spoilers. So.
Well, are you just going to read off the article or are you going to give it your spin first?
I'll give my spin.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, cool. So Silo, based off a book which I haven't read. I think we've got book 1 somewhere lying around in the house, based off a book called Wool.
By Hugh Howey, yep.
So it's based on, and it varies a little bit from the books. I kind of read the Wikipedia and I was just like, how is this different? Because I like to know things. Anyway, back to Silo. Drew's like knocking his head. It's like, maybe I, shouldn't have trusted this. That's fine.
No, by all means.
So it sort of opens up into this underground bunker, but it has hundreds of levels in this particular bunker. Each sort of story or group of like stories would have, I guess, a different job. Like you've got the IT.
Sorry, you mean stories, levels?
Levels, yeah.
Not getting confused about like a story.
Oh, yeah, sorry, levels within the silo itself. Yeah. So you've got, the agriculture level, you've got the like IT level, you've got the mechanical, which is like down the bottom. And they have like law there, so they've got the sheriff. So it's really much based around, I guess, the sheriff's role and kind of realizing there's a whole bunch of other things happening in the background. It has a whole bunch of, conspiracy theories that turn out to be somewhat true in a way. I'm not explaining this very well.
Do you want me to take over?
I think so. Can you?
So basically, it's a dystopian science fiction book turned TV show. Like you said, they're living in an underground bunker, hundreds of levels, and essentially the season is set around the sheriff or multiple sheriffs and their mission to uncover different mysteries throughout the silo and try to figure out who's in charge, what's happening, why certain things are happening or why certain people are dying and that sort of thing. And it's kind of sci-fi drama, not a lot of like drama in terms of like relationship stuff. It's more drama in terms of how is their underground society functioning and running.
Yes.
That's basically the summary of it. There's not much else to really say about it other than like there's probably obviously more that you can say about it other than that.
It's just like a huge mystery, right? Like so it has, even though it is sci-fi, it's like dystopian, so it has that like steampunk sort of vintage feel to it. So they don't have cameras, they don't have a lot of tech and everything.
Yeah, so the thing is they're unaware of who created the silo, when it was created. It's religious in a sense because everyone believes what they're told and the story that's been handed down from the people that I guess built the silo and the reason why it was built. And then there's a few, as you said, conspiracy theory elements where people start questioning why they're there, what the truth is, who was because there's a big screen that sees the outside world at the top of the bunker, and people kind of just have that faith element to believe in the way the society is run by the mayor and the people that run the judicial system. but there's kind of conspiracy theory elements in terms of smaller underground groups that are trying to create some rebellion or uprising to understand what's really going on. And that's basically what the show is centered around.
Yeah.
What's really going on, why we're really here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the end of the season and you kind of start getting more understanding of what is happening in the outside world. For me, a 10 out of 10 show. It was a week-to-week thing that we watched on Apple TV.
It's like, how can a show be like slow but also fast-paced at the same time? Like that 50 minutes just goes really, really fast. It leaves you hanging and you can't wait to watch the next episode. The story or character development's really strong. Like it makes you, really involved or really like root for certain characters. It's just really interesting the way they do it, and it's very believable as well. It doesn't seem so far-fetched that it couldn't happen. Yep. Like it's just, there was like a nuclear war or whatever it is. They know that they can't go outside because they're going to die, essentially. Like it's very, very interesting, that particular concept. But you have, like you said, these small group of people, or these, like they'll call them like the people like with imaginations, or the people that believe, or the curious lot, right?
Yep.
That think there's more than meets the eye with this particular thing.
And they believe that for a particular reason, because there's very little technology. The technology that is there is tightly controlled, and everyone knows that there are these things somewhere, some people have, called relics.
Yes.
Relics from long ago that...
Before the silo is what they call it.
Before the silo that has more than likely information about what the truth is. Everyone knows if you have a relic, you're sent out, or you're sent outside of the silo, and you're doomed, more or less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting because everyone knows owning a relic means your head's on the chopping block.
Mm-hmm.
But then if everyone knows owning one of these things is going to like get you killed, more or less, then there are some people that are kind of questioning, they exist for a reason.
Yes.
Why do they not want us to have them? It's just a fun sci-fi show.
It is, yeah. Just the drama and mystery and just like the investigation sort of aspect to it just
it's
keeps
kind of a detective element to it.
Yeah, I'd say detective, 100%.
So,
really, really enjoyable.
So we both didn't really do a great job there. We filled in each other's gaps, but we're getting there with the
better than
TV
I
show
did.
reviews.
I think so. And it's been greenlit for a second season as well. And I think it was greenlit like halfway through the season, which doesn't always happen. So yeah, it was going really, really well. People really loved it, and they're like, yeah, let's do a second season. And the season or episode finale didn't disappoint at all.
No,
like I'm really looking forward to...
Great way to end the season for
100%.
Sure.
Yeah. So really, really good way to end it. Just really interesting characters as well. Like it was just, there were a couple of moments where I was like, oh, no. Like, yeah, you want that kind of
Why
moments.
would you bring up a spoiler post for me to read?
Oh, then get out of it then.
Oh, will, but you've literally brought up, I wanted to read the books before the next season comes out, and you're literally just...
Well, that's what happens in the books and biggest reveals.
I just opened the links that you added in.
Right, we won't do it. What was the other one? Silo 2 cast and...
I don't mind reading about the cast and the dates, but you can't be like, this is what's going to happen in the next season.
Okay, all good.
I don't even want to watch it now.
Yeah, you do.
I do want to watch it.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 show for me. Apple Plus. It's got a bunch of great reviews. Like it's got a super high
Rotten Tomatoes
meter.
Yeah.
Not that accounts for anything.
So it's high IMDb, it's high Rotten Tomatoes, great fan reviews.
Even the pilot episode is a hook. It'll hook you in. It's not fast paced, but it's slow, but it's worth sticking into. By that probably third episode, you're like, you need to watch, you need to know what's happening with all of them.
Yep, and some really talented actors in it as well.
Yeah, a lot
Very
of which
talented.
you've never seen before. The only one I'm aware of is Rebecca Ferguson, the main lead.
I know like the main IT guy as well. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff. The one that takes over. The white hair dude.
Does he? Oh, there's Common, the rapper. He's in it.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah, the black guy that controls all the stuff in the things.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
What's the white hair guy in?
He's in like heaps of stuff.
Is he?
Yeah.
Silo.
Who's old mate?
Tim Robbins.
Yeah, it's Tim Robbins.
Oh, sorry, there is Dr. Peter Nichols, Ian Glenn, who's in Game of Thrones.
I didn't really watch Game of Thrones. And Rashida Jones.
Well, she's only she's not
in the it's a spoiler. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. But yeah, Tim Robbins, he's in heaps of stuff.
Oh my God, Shawshank Redemption, Mystic River.
Yeah.
None of which have War of the Worlds. Okay.
He's probably the most famous out of all of them.
Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, dude's been around.
Yeah, Tim Robbins. It's fun.
Zathura, loves Zathura. It's basically
City of Ember is what it reminds me of. Have you heard of that? That's another underground movie, like it's a kids one. Have you? No.
Wait. You skipped straight over the Zathura.
No, City of
No, but
Ember.
Have you seen Zathura?
Yeah, I have. But City of Ember is like, was he in that one?
He's young here. Oh, he was young at one point.
As most people are. Yeah, they're not born Benjamin Button style, you know.
City of Ember, American Science Fantasy Adventure 2003. 2 teenagers unlock an ancient mystery before the lights go out. Underground City. There you go.
Yeah, ancient underground city as well.
Bill Murray, Tim Robbins.
Very interesting. Good stuff.
Interesting.
Yes. Silo 10 out of 10. Look, Mum recommends. Add it to your playlist.
Mm-hmm.
It'd probably be, now that every episode's out, we were actually waiting week on week to watch it. It'd be a good season to binge.
If you spent a whole day watching this, you would not be disappointed.
No, not at all. Very good.
All right, and you guys won't be disappointed because we'll be back next week.
We will.
Episode 75.
75.
Sheesh.
Coming right back at ya.
All right, bye guys.
See ya.